Bon dia, amigos. Thank you for clicking on a Backfire video. Today we're investigating two things that I've been pretty excited about. One is the 300 PRC cartridge. You guys have guilted me into it. I've been rough on the 300 PRC since it came out. Like, I just don't see the point. The 300 Win Mag, older, standby, ubiquitous, relatively inexpensive to shoot. It does everything I need it to do as a hunting cartridge. I mean, we're not hunting armor-plated rhinoceroses, right? We have a couple of interesting tests today to test that out in this amazing trophy truck of a rifle. This is the Sig Cross Magnum Sawtooth. You guys know that I love the Sig Cross. It's my family's favorite gun. And so we'll see, is the 300 PRC really the successor to the 300 Win Mag? And is the Sig Cross Magnum Sawtooth really a worthy upgrade to the Sig Cross? All right, first shot. Look at that thing. This thing, that is intense. Ooh, like that scope. This is a Sig Tango DMR 5-30. Okay, well, a lot of shrapnel kicked up from that muzzle brake. Those radio port muzzle brakes are rough. But man, the recoil with a good muzzle brake is so low. I mean, this is a heavier platform and we've got a backstop recoil pad on there, but just the heavier platform and the brake on there, that recoil is nothing. My teenagers could shoot this all day, no issue. Okay, there's a 1-inch group. I really like the action on the Sig Cross because I don't know that I've ever had a misfeed on a Sig Cross, either this or the other version. Also, we put the backstop recoil pad on here. The backstop recoil pad is now available for all Sig Cross models, and you still got your adjustability, everything. That recoil pad on the Sig Cross is pretty thin and collapses pretty easy. They also come with a 2-stage trigger that I'm a big fan of. I like having a 2-stage trigger, but something is a little bit different on this trigger compared to my other Sig Cross. My other one has a more smooth take-up. This one has kind of a gritty take-up, and then there is a nice clean break after. I don't know if that's something that'll just kind of wear in a little bit with that trigger, but it's a little bit gritty on the take-up. Switching things up here, cameraman Garrett's gonna give this a shot. What'd the recoil feel like to you?
Like nothing.
Yeah.
That's shocking. I was expecting a lot. You probably saw me jump a little bit, but I was expecting a lot more than that. Well, those are almost touching.
We're still early on this and we didn't have a bipod. Our best group was 0.6, a 0.8, 1.1, and 1 inches. These were the first two groups ever out of the gun, still getting it fouled. And already even group 2 was, I think, only 1.2 there. Indiana Jonesed our way onto the shipping containers. Now we're gonna take our shots. First shot is 200 yards. It's a coyote facing us. Peyton's gonna do the shooting here. So, I mean, they say engineers can't shoot, so I don't know.
Who says that?
Maybe I just made that up.
Drilled
Impact. That is one very, very dead coyote right there. All right, shot number 2, 400 yards, 1.5 mils.
Drilled it.
Impact. Where's the impact? Can you see?
Yeah, it does look like you hit the top left edge of the vitals.
Peyton's not messing around now. 600 yards. He's going prone on this mule deer. Now, keep in mind, like, we just took this thing out of the box. We shot a few groups with it, found the load and the velocity, and then just put it into the app, just not truing anything. And he's just drilling these. Now, I will say, just having animals at distance, I've got to throw the disclaimer. We're not at all advocating that you'd be hunting it at this range, especially without really knowing this rifle. We're really just shooting out to 1,000 because it's freaking fun.
You hit the vitals.
All right, okay.
We gotta let that
Out to 8 now. 800 yards now. This is 4.8 mils. Right edge?
High.
No, I think I heard an impact.
Oh yeah, it does hit the vitals, but the vital thing swings back and hits the dust, and the dust goes.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, impact, 800 yards. That is awesome. I mean, that's a cool shot, but the really impressive thing is like nothing has happened to this gun. Like, this is out of the box. It's just incredible how far we've come with just these tiny little incremental improvements. It all adds up to something pretty incredible. Obviously, we're never hunting it like this, but it's just cool to be able to do it on the range. Okay, 1,000 yards.
Just high.
Oof.
Right to left was perfect, just high. Just right over the top of his back.
It's just a tiny target. I wouldn't change anything. I'd just shoot again.
Okay. Oh, drilled it!
Impact! There's a reason that this rifle has kind of been my obsession over the last couple years. It's so built for accuracy. A few things just stand out. One, you have a one-piece receiver here, all one piece of metal there. And so you don't have to worry about like how the action is bedded into the stock. We just removed that. That's a major piece of accuracy just gone. You don't have to worry about the float of the barrel if the barrel is touching the front of the stock. That's just gone. The handguard completely goes around it and even protects that barrel from getting knocked around and stuff. The cheek riser has a really smart design. It's spring loaded. And so you look through your scope, press down on the cheek, and then whenever you have your perfect view, you just lock it. Done. So moving this between people in the family is so easy. It has an AR style selector for the safety. I already mentioned the two-stage trigger that I really like. It does use metal mags. This one isn't as rattly as a lot of them are. There is still some rattle to it. And it's a little chunkier. This is 8.1 pounds. The less expensive, more basic Sig Cross is a little bit lighter than that, but a little bit of chunk just lends itself to accuracy. Some people complain about the angle, the angled bolt handle here, so that you can fold up the stock and have it not get in the way. It's never bothered me, but it maybe takes a little bit of getting used to. I do like this upgraded mechanism here. It's so much easier to fold the stock. On the original Sig Cross, it can be a little bit of a pain to fold. Not a big deal, but it's there. And having ARCA, we're able to throw this on a tripod a little bit more quickly. I mean, if there was ever a rifle that was like built for gym, it might be this. I just wish it weren't quite so expensive to get the Magnum cartridges or the long action cartridges. All right, so let's talk about it. 300 Win Mag and 300 PRC. In the Hornady Precision Hunter, this particular load, they're shooting only 10 feet per second different, right around 2550, 2560 feet per second. The 300 PRC is shooting a 212 grain versus 200 grain in a 300 Win Mag. Now 300 Win Mag, you can get heavier, but you know, we're gonna fail out on twist rate at some point. That generally, I don't know, I like 300 Win Mag between 180 and 200 grains. The 300 PRC, you can go even heavier, go to 225 grains if you really want. But 212 I think is a good sweet spot. So we're comparing apples to apples here. Now, one thing to consider then is the BC of the bullets. On the 300 PRC, your BC is 0.66, and on the 300 Win Mag, you're 0.597. And so you're getting a fairly significant, noticeable jump in the BC of the bullet. We're a little bit more sleek and so slightly less resistant to wind especially. And so ballistically, I mean, it just depends on what load we're talking about in terms of the bullet drop and wind drift, everything like that, because you can load them all up or down. And so if for the hunter, there's not a, you know, it's not like we're getting some kind of crazy ballistic advantage by doing this, then why? Well, the 300 PRC really wasn't designed with the intent of being the ultimate hunting cartridge. Now, that doesn't mean you can't use it for whatever you want, but it wasn't designed that way. Really, this is about shooting extended ranges for a target application. And so they don't really care that in a 300 PRC, we've got to go to a magnum length action instead of just a normal long action. The other thing that they're trying to do is by shooting those heavier bullets, when you're shooting out at a mile, if you haven't done it, if you haven't shot at a mile, one of the big challenges is actually seeing, did I hit it or not? Because it's like a ant ticking the plate. Like there's just not a lot of force left at that kind of range. So they wanted a heavier bullet so you can actually see your impact a little bit easier. But for hunters, I guess I always feel like, you know, am I going to feel undergunned at all if I take a 300 Win Mag on an elk hunt? No, I don't feel like that I'm undergunned at all. Now, more is always better, right? I mean, you can't kill an animal too dead, but also more means you need a different rifle platform, right? Like that's the big problem with the 300 PRC is magnum length action, more recoil, 5 more grains of powder, heavier, and we're cramming all of that into today's super lightweight hunting rifles. It's just not always a very good mix. And we've seen that in several rifles that we've looked at in 300 PRC, and we just say, it's a good rifle, but I don't know that it's a match with the 300 PRC. And so the Sig Cross is a cool rifle for this because it's got a little bit more meat on it. It's a little bit heavier, and I think it's just a perfect platform for something like a 300 PRC. So who needs a 300 PRC? Well, nobody. You can use your 300 Win Mag, but it's awesome. It's awesome. I mean, you just get a little bit more. Who doesn't want the 8-cylinder when you have a 6, right? That's what we're talking about. Update on the range. So Nate, our builder out here is awesome. This is the foundation. We're gonna put one shipping container there. Foundation for that one over there. Got our building permit, and then we'll have one bridged between them that we'll be shooting out of. The idea is we wanna get some height, right? Because this land is flat. And so when we can get up high and shoot down, it just makes it safer so we don't cook something off, right? We got berms up. We're gonna increase the size of them a bit out there, but we have animals at 2, 4, 6, 8, and 1,000 yards. Man, this thing is impressive. I mean, the platform is perfect. This Sig Cross Magnum Sawtooth, it's a premium rifle. You know, this is a trophy truck. It's one you got to save up for. You certainly don't have to have an expensive rifle to go hunt out west. But we just barely got back from an elk hunt with Hootie Hoo and Tate from Process Based Hunter. And like, this is the perfect rifle for something like that. Incredibly accurate for shooting something so big. You know, 212 grains shooting at an elk is gonna put a whack on that thing. It's impossible to be overgunned for an elk. And so, you know, I don't know how much advantage really a 300 PRC has over a 300 Win Mag. I can say I love that rifle, and I don't think I'd change much about it. And it's absolutely coming out into the woods with us this fall. I'm blown away. I mean, this rifle performed as well as you could possibly hope for a heavy hitting platform like this. 1 thumb, 2 thumbs straight up. Do we even do that? I don't think we do that.